Basically, the entire chapter is all about it will first start with the changes in our environment. So if we talk about the changes, we have these 5 categories of changes, right? First changes, slow and fast changes. If any change is happening within a very short duration of time, it is fast change. If it is taking a lot of time, it is slow change, right? Like growth of a mango tree, है ना? It takes a lot of years, days, months, है ना? So it is a slow change. और फिर now the second category is desirable and undesirable changes. If some changes are happening which we really want, those are desirable changes. If we don't want the changes, they are called undesirable changes, like conversion of electricity into the light energy. This is desirable changes, but conversion of electricity into heat energy in the tube light itself or bulb is undesirable changes. We don't want those kind of changes. Now the third category is periodic and non-periodic changes. If certain changes are occurring again after a certain period of time, they are repeating themselves, they are called periodic changes, like day and night, है ना? तो ये periodic changes हैं, after 24 hours we again see the same pattern, right? Now coming to the fourth example, which is reversible and irreversible changes. Now the changes which are reversible in nature are called reversible changes. For example, if we have an ice cube, we can melt it into liquid and again we can freeze them in the form of ice. So these are reversible changes. Now the changes which are irreversible are known as irreversible changes, like burning of paper. Okay? Now the fifth category is physical changes and chemical changes. This is the main focus point because the entire chapter is completely based on physical changes and chemical changes. So physical changes are the changes in which only the physical state of something is changing, and the composition of the substance is not changing, or formation of new substance is not taking place. For example, again you can see if you are cutting a paper or if you are melting of ice is again an example of physical changes. And chemical changes are the changes in which a new substance or a new compound or element is formed. Okay. So those are chemical changes. For example, rusting of iron. Again, if you see, some of the examples can fall into more than one category. For example, this melting of ice into water. This is also an example of reversible changes and an example of physical changes also. Okay? So now we are focusing mainly on the difference between physical change and chemical change. So in physical change, what happens? No new substance is formed. On the other hand, in chemical change, what happens? New substances are formed. So this is first difference. Now the second difference is the chemical composition of the substance remains unchanged. जैसे मैंने बोला ना, अगर आइस क्यूब को वाटर में चेंज कर रहे हैं तो क्या होगा? फिर भी उसका मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला तो H2O ही रहेगा, है ना? Doesn't matter whether it is ice or water. Its molecular formula will be H2O. On the other hand, in this case, what will happen? The chemical composition changes due to the formation of new substances. As the new substance is formed, so definitely the chemical composition are also changes. Its molecular formula will be different. Fourth, and a very good point is that in case of physical changes, if at all any energy change is happening, that will be almost insignificant or very small kind of energy change will happen. Okay. On the other hand, in case of chemical changes, noticeable absorption or release of energy can be seen. So the reactions in which a lot of energy is released, we call them exothermic reaction. We will talk about that later. And the reaction in which the energy is absorbed, we call them endothermic reaction. ठीक है, तो उसके बारे में भी अभी कवर करेंगे. Now coming to the fifth point, reversible and irreversible. So this is not always true. Always keep this in your mind. Not always true, but most of the physical changes are reversible in nature. Okay? Most of them are reversible, but some of them can be irreversible also. On the other hand, in case of chemical changes, most of them are irreversible. It is difficult to reverse. ठीक है? जैसे कि अगर फिजिकल चेंज में हम लोग ले लें तो फ्रीजिंग ऑफ वाटर क्या होता है? रिवर्सिबल चेंज है ना, बहुत इजीली रिवर्स कर सकते हैं. फ्रीजिंग ऑफ वाटर, मेल्टिंग ऑफ आइस. बट ऑन द अदर हैंड, इफ यू ब्रेक अ ग्लास, आई एम नॉट सेइंग इट इज completely not reversible, but then it will be little difficult process. ठीक है, तो अगर एक ग्लास ब्रेक हो गया तो क्या होगा? अगेन इट हैज टू गो थ्रू द एंटायर इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोसेस to bring it into the same form, right? Now here are some examples like melting of ice, boiling of water, cutting of paper, breaking glass. These are the physical changes. And burning wood, rusting iron, digestion of food, these are some of the examples of chemical changes. Now, if a chemical change is happening, it means some kind of chemical reaction is taking place, right? Now, how to identify whether a chemical reaction is taking place in certain changes or not? So here are 5 points that they have mentioned. If any chemical reaction is taking place, either there will be evolution of gas, means at least one of them will occur, or more than one can also happen. So there can be evolution of gas, change of color, formation of precipitate. Precipitate is what? Precipitate is basically some kind of insoluble compound or substance. Okay, so that will be formed. Now the fourth is energy changes. Maybe it will absorb energy or it can release energy. So in case of energy changes, it can be exothermic or endothermic both. Now coming to the fifth point, where it can also show some change of state. So we are now going to cover each and every point in detail. So covering the first point, which is about the evolution of gas. So there can be some reactions in which you can see the evolution of gases. First example is when zinc reacts with sulfuric acid, we get zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. ठीक है, ये रिएक्शन है, इस टाइप के रिएक्शंस तुम लोगों को 10th में बहुत हेल्प करेगा, क्योंकि वहां पे हमारे 2 चैप्टर है. पहला चैप्टर है एसिड बेसिस एंड सॉल्ट, दूसरा चैप्टर है हमारा मेटल्स एंड नॉन मेटल्स. इन दोनों ही चैप्टर में ना दे आर एक्चुअली टॉकिंग दैट इफ a metal reacts with an acid, we get some salt and hydrogen gas is evolved. Okay, so if you memorize it right now in 8th standard, it will help you in higher grades. तो जब मेटल एक एसिड के साथ रिएक्ट करता है ना, तो हमको एक सॉल्ट मिलता है और हाइड्रोजन गैस इवॉल्व होता है. सो हियर दिस गैस इज इवॉल्व. सो एग्जांपल ऑफ इवोल्यूशन ऑफ गैस. So second example is when sodium nitrate is heated, it gives out sodium nitrite and oxygen gas. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन गैस हमारा इवॉल्व हो रहा है. अच्छा देखो, कैसे हम लोग आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं ना कि गैस जो इवॉल्व हो रहा है वो हाइड्रोजन गैस है या ऑक्सीजन गैस है. तो हाइड्रोजन गैस के पास अगर तुम कैंडल फ्लेम लाओगे या मैच स्टिक लेकर आओगे ना, बर्निंग मैच स्टिक, तो क्या होगा? इट विल स्टार्ट बर्निंग विद अ पॉप साउंड. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दिस. ठीक है, क्योंकि like even in higher grade also they will ask how can you identify which gas is evolved. So if you bring the burning candle or matchstick, it will burn with the pop sound. Remember this. This is for hydrogen. Carbon dioxide का क्या है? You can pass it through lime water, and if the lime water turns milky, it means the gas which is evolved is carbon dioxide. Good that you remember it. Now the third example is copper sulfide. When it reacts with hydrochloric acid, we get copper chloride and hydrogen sulfide gas. Now the next characteristics of chemical reaction is change of color. So it may happen that initially the reactant that you have is of different color, but once a chemical reaction is taking place, it can change its color. For example, when lead oxide, which is red in color, if we heat it, it gives lead monoxide and oxygen gas. Now this lead monoxide is yellow in color. Okay, so it is turning from red to yellow. Means if it is yellow now, a completely different substance is formed, right? So that's why we can say that a chemical reaction has taken place here. Now another example is if copper carbonate is heated. Copper carbonate is green in color. So when this is heated, we get copper oxide, which is black in color, and carbon dioxide. Now as carbon dioxide is evolved, now we can use lime water वाला test, है ना? यहाँ पे हमारा इवॉल्व हो रहा है ना, तो इसको अगर हम लोग लाइम वाटर के थ्रू पास करेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? वो मिल्की टर्न हो जाएगा. सो वी कैन go for that test now. Okay, now coming to the third example, if lead nitrate, which is a white crystal, so what is the color? It is white initially, is heated, we get lead monoxide, which is yellow in color, and nitrogen dioxide, which is reddish brown in color. ठीक है, तो ये रेडिश ब्राउन कलर का गैस है और ये क्या है? हमारा येलो कंपाउंड है. सो इनिशियली वी हैड व्हाइट क्रिस्टल एंड आफ्टर द रिएक्शन टेक्स प्लेस वी हैव कंपाउंड्स इन येलो कलर एंड reddish brown in color. Getting it? So these are the examples of chemical reaction in which color is changed. Now coming to the next characteristics, formation of precipitate. So first, let's understand what is a precipitate. Precipitate is like an insoluble compound or insoluble substance. ठीक है, तो जैसे हम लोगों ने अभी ये वाला एग्जांपल भी किया था ना, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को जब हम लोग लाइम वाटर के साथ लाइम वाटर के थ्रू पास करते हैं तो क्या होता है, मिल्की टर्न हो जाता है. व्हाई टर्न्स मिल्की? बिकॉज ऑफ प्रेसिपिटेट. अ व्हाइट प्रेसिपिटेट इज फॉर्म. So first example is when silver nitrate reacts with sodium chloride, we get sodium nitrate and silver chloride. Now this silver chloride is the white precipitate in this reaction. Second example, when ferrous sulfate reacts with sodium hydroxide, we get sodium sulfate and ferrous hydroxide. Now this is a precipitate and it is dirty green in color. Okay, so precipitate can also have different colors and these are insoluble substances. Now coming to the third example, if lead nitrate reacts with potassium iodide, what happens? Potassium nitrate is formed, along with it lead iodide, which is a precipitate, is also formed. Now its color is yellow. Now coming to the next characteristics, which is energy change. So if a chemical reaction is happening, there can be a significant amount of energy change in that. So the first category, now if I talk about the change in energy, means it can increase or it can decrease. If it is increasing, it means energy is released, right? That's why we can feel the increase in temperature. If it is decreased, it means energy is absorbed from the environment or from the system which we have maintained for that particular chemical reaction. So based on that, whether the energy is released or energy is absorbed, our chemical reaction can be categorized into exothermic or endothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means energy is released and endothermic reaction means energy is absorbed. One example here, if the magnesium ribbon is burnt in the presence of sufficient amount of oxygen, magnesium oxide is formed, along with that a lot of heat is released. So this is an example of exothermic reaction. This reaction is very important because based on this we are going to talk about the activation energy also. Now coming to the endothermic reaction, one very common example is photosynthesis का example है ना. Energy can have different forms, no? है ना. तो कई बार क्या होता है, हीट एनर्जी में हम लोग प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं या नेचर से उसको मिल रहा है. सो इन दिस केस इट इज गेटिंग एनर्जी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ सनलाइट. सो दिस इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शन इन विच एनर्जी इज एब्सॉर्ब्ड. व्हाट हैपेंस इन केस ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिएक्ट्स विद वाटर इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ सनलाइट टू गिव ग्लूकोज, है ना. ग्लूकोज का फॉर्मेशन होता है जो उनका फूड है, एंड वी ऑल्सो गेट ऑक्सीजन. ठीक है. Pay attention here. When the magnesium ribbon is burnt in the presence of oxygen, now what is happening? We are burning it, means we are providing the energy. So if we are providing the energy, how it can be an example of exothermic? Why is it not endothermic? So let's try to understand that part. The energy that we are providing initially, okay, initially once the process starts, what happens? The entire magnesium ribbon starts burning on its own. Means
it doesn't need heat constantly.
Very good. It doesn't need the energy constantly. Once only to start or initiate the chemical reaction, we need it. So that energy is known as activation energy. This energy is the initial minimum energy which is required to activate a particular kind of reaction. ठीक है. तो इसीलिए उसको हम लोग एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शन के कैटेगरी में नहीं रखेंगे. Once the process starts, no, you don't have to provide the energy further. One more example of activation energy जो हम लोग डेली देखते हैं, रियल लाइफ में देखते हैं. Example of coal. If you to burn the coal, what happens? You have to use some candle, some matchstick, है ना, कुछ सोर्स यूज करना पड़ेगा to initiate the chemical reaction. एक बार कोल बर्न होना शुरू हो गया, उसके बाद क्या होता है, वो कंटिन्यूसली बर्न होता है ना. हमको प्रोवाइड नहीं करना पड़ता ऑल द टाइम मैच स्टिक और कैंडल फ्लेम, हमको नहीं प्रोवाइड करना है. बट इनिशियली इट नीड्स सम मिनिमम एनर्जी. तो वहां पे भी हमको क्या दिख रहा है, एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी का एग्जांपल दिख रहा है. ठीक है. So now coming to the difference between activation energy and endothermic energy. So activation energy is actually the starter energy needed to begin a reaction. On the other hand, endothermic reaction energy is actually the energy which is continuously absorbed during the reaction. ठीक है. ये तो बहुत ही क्लियर एग्जांपल है. Now activation energy ना, you can see this in both एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शन और एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शन. कभी कभी कुछ एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शन और एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शन दोनों टाइप के रिएक्शन को इनिशिएट करने के लिए वी नीड एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी. जबकि हमारा ये एंडोथर्मिक एनर्जी किसमें दिखता है? इन केस ऑफ endothermic reactions. Okay, now the last characteristic of chemical reaction is change of state. So it may happen that initially whatever reactants you are taking, those reactants are completely different in state, and the compound which is formed has a totally different state. Okay, first example is hydrogen reacting with oxygen gives water molecules. So hydrogen and oxygen, which are the reactants,
Gas.
both are gaseous in form, but the water molecule which is formed is liquid in state. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? टोटली स्टेट चेंज हो रहा है ना, दोनों ही गैशियस फॉर्म में है, कंपाउंड हमारा क्या है? लिक्विड फॉर्म में है. नाउ द सेकंड एग्जांपल, ammonia reacting with hydrochloric acid gives ammonium chloride. Now ammonia is gaseous in state, hydrochloric acid is also gaseous in state in this particular reaction, and then the compound which is formed is solid in state. तो इसका कंपाउंड का हमारा कंप्लीटली स्टेट क्या है? डिफरेंट है ना फ्रॉम द रिएक्टेंट्स. नाउ कमिंग टू द थर्ड एग्जांपल, when carbon reacts with sulfur, where carbon is solid in state, sulfur is vapor in state, we get carbon disulfide which is liquid in state. ठीक है, तो हमारे 5 कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या क्या हो गए? एक बार रिवाइज करो. change in color,
evolution of gas,
change in state,
formation of precipitate,
precipitate,
energy changes.
change in energy, not release. You cannot means energy, it can also absorb energy, no? So change in energy, it can also release, it can also absorb, both things are possible.